everyone, this is my first time going live on my YouTube account. I'm typically on my TikTok. So I was in today's hearing for David. I've been at every hearing pretty much, and I just wanted to give a little bit of an update of what happened today. A little bit of a mess today. Sorry, I did not even bring my phone holder, so I'm holding it in my hand. So this was a very quick hearing today. David entered in, first of all, it started a little bit late just because there was an issue with the initial courtroom that we have due to a maintenance issue that started at 8:25, so they moved us down the hall. Now, when David came in, it was pretty different than normal. He was seated on the side of the table, so he actually was kind of facing us from a side angle. Usually his back is to us. He was not having the full chains wrapped around him. They did not lock him into the table, which was abnormal. And he looked very different today. He was completely confident. He sat up strong. He seemed smiley. It was just a very different vibe in the courtroom. It was very quick. Everybody came from the back room from meeting with the judge. They had a hearing in the back and essentially said that they had a motion that was going to be, closed to us to continue to July 21st, 2026 for the preliminary hearing, and they were all in agreement about that. So the big thing is that the preliminary hearing is going to be moved to July 21st, 2026, and the status hearing will be July 7th, 2026 for the next check-in. That's the big news. Very simple. But the biggest thing that I took away is David was so different in today's hearing. Worlds different in his confidence level. I just was like, I don't know if he realized he was there for a homicide hearing. I don't know what milligram of Lexapro maybe they've given him. It was a completely different person. So yeah, that's my update on this. If you want to rewind and check it out. But again, I'll give another update. But my big takeaway is just David's behavior in today's hearing is completely different. I know some people are joining now, so I'll start again shortly. I'll let some people join. This is my first time going live on my YouTube. So typically I'm over on my TikTok, but I'll let everyone join on in. I'm still here at the courthouse outside of David's hearing that wrapped up a little while ago. It was very, very quick hearing. So just so we know, the big takeaway is there is a change in the date of David's hearing. It is being pushed. There was a motion to push it for a continuance to July 21st, 2026. A status conference will now be held on July 7th, 2026. The big thing as well, the big takeaway is David's behavior and how he looked in the hearing was a world's difference than in the past. He did not look like he did before. In the past, I have described him as disassociated. He put his head down. He looked a little out of it. He did not look like that today. Today, he looked not like he was at a homicide hearing. It was unreal. He was smiling. He was smiling. I don't know if he's on meds or I don't know what he's so happy about. When he came in as well was a little bit different. So we started just a little bit late because there was a maintenance issue in our initial courtroom exactly at 8:25, so they moved us to a courtroom down the hall, which is why we started a little late. Also, when he came in, he was not fully chained around the waist like he typically is. He also was not chained to the table like he typically is. They sat him on the side of the table. Usually his back is to us. His back was not to us, which is different. He was sat on the side of the table. So, think if you're sitting at a dining table, how there's kind of two heads of the table, right? He was sat like at the head of a table. So in the courtroom for us, he was almost like facing the the audience or the public and the media, which was very different. So we got to see like his whole side and front profile, which was completely different than the past of what we've been able to view of him than just his back. And oddly, you would think that might be harder for him to see all these people staring back at him on a homicide case. But he was incredibly confident today. He sat up strong and confident. He held his head high. He seemed comfortable in the courtroom today. I don't know if it's because he's been there a few times. I don't know if it's all these meetings he's had with his lawyers or whatever is going on in the case, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But he was so comfortable in the courtroom today. It was so different than before. Thank you. I figure if I'm live, when it ends, people can replay. This is my first time going live on my YouTube, so thank you. I know I was talking to nobody. But I usually go live on my TikTok, and I've been offline for about 2 months on my accounts. But yeah, he was incredibly comfortable. When he came in, like I said, he was seated on the side. One of the lawyers, Regina, talked to him for a little bit, and he just kind of nodded to everything. And again, there's a motion behind closed doors that we don't know what it is or why, but they agreed to this continuance to July 21st for the preliminary hearing, with a check-in for a status conference on July 7th, 2026. So that's the next time that we'll be in court, basically for the same thing today, to see if they're going to be ready for July 21st. We'll be on July 7th. That's the next time we will see if they're ready. He did reply, "Yes, Your Honor," to that July 21st date. He was very intent on listening again, but in a more confident, comfortable way. He just looked at them intently. He was like, yes, yes, to his lawyers, to the judge. But again, I wrote down, he's just more confident in this than his other dates. Burke again, sorry, not Burke. The prosecution again was fine with these dates, just had to verify witnesses that they can come to the preliminary hearing, and that the detectives are fine. And the only thing the judge basically said is that she just likes to handle her calendar matters before preliminary hearing days. And again, David was fine with that. He nodded and smiled. "Thank you, Your Honor." And I just noted, very happy, very comfortable, very confident. Yeah. It was just the weirdest thing today. I walked out of there like, does he know he's on trial for homicide and a multitude of other things? It was just, I don't know. And also, they didn't take him away either before we left the courtroom, which was another thing that was different. Again, no chains today, not tied to the table, not locked in. And then we were also all taken out of the courtroom before they took him away, which is very different. So, because of the way he was seated, he also then watched all of us leave the courtroom. Again, he did not look away today. He was not disassociated. Just a weird, I don't know what he's so confident about. I don't know what he's so comfortable about. I don't know what he's so smiley about. I don't know if he's on a good dose of medication or what, but it was just, I don't know. It was weird. I have not seen him like this at all. It was a totally different David. I like to call him D4VD terabytes VD, sitting there, that has been sitting there in his other hearings today. Completely different person. His other ones, I described him as dissociative, head down, but he would respond in his other hearings, but like, just clearly he felt in his other hearings I put that he was small, he seemed, just to listen, but this was a totally different David that showed up today. Totally different. I'm so tired today. I have not slept. That's why, and I was afraid I wasn't going to get in there because I live in LA, but I took the train down and my train got stopped and I was afraid I was going to miss it. Also, my cat of 15 years just passed away a couple days ago, and I have kind of been crying my eyes out the past couple days. So I have not slept very well. I've been a little bit in grief mode, so I'm a mess. But I still wanted to get here to cover this because justice for Celeste. I've been in this case the whole time. So, and I checked the documents as well. Like I said, this is going to be a hidden motion of why they wanted to continue this. We don't know, but they discussed this in the back with the judge, and they all agreed. So the next time we will be here is July 7th for the continuance, but very quick meeting otherwise, very quick hearing. So the next time again, big takeaway is the preliminary hearing has been continued to July 21st, 2026. And the next status conference will be July 7th, 2026. And David seems very confident, comfortable, and was incredibly happy and smiling the entire time in that courtroom. And I don't know why he's happy. Just a weird hearing today. Just weird hearing. Yeah. Any other questions? That's all I really got. I know a local reporter wanted to talk to me from the news, even though I look like a hot mess, but I told her I'd go talk to her. And then I gotta go. I'm on TikTok too. I know I've been off, like I said, for about 2 months from my videos for a little bit, but been covering this whole case and been on top of it, so I will stay on top of it, and I intend to be at all of the hearings. So I'll be back here on July 7th. If anyone has any questions, make sure you put them down in the comments. I will check on this video after for anybody that's in the replay, but yeah, let me know what you think about David and why he may feel so comfortable, confident, or anything in today's hearing. Is it meds or, I don't know, just a weird, like I said, weird situation. Not sure how I feel about it. It's just awkward. Just awkward. I feel like I don't know why, if he doesn't know where he is, why he's on trial. But that is the update. Quick hearing today. But I have, I'm going to go back in. I have some other court files I want to go pull today while I'm here from the public computers. So I'm going to go make sure that I do that before I hop back on the train and head back home. All right, have a good one, everyone.